Hey. Booyah. Yahoo. Woo. Anyways. Still setting up and getting prepared, so give me a second here, y'all. Getting prepared, so give me a second here, y'all. Getting everything set up. Ooh, that fire's lit. That's lit. Man, okay. Oh, okay. We lit. We lit. We lit. We lit. Lit. Boom, bam. Yahoo. Anyways, hope y'all have y'all's pen and paper ready, because we lit. And we're going to do a little bit of journaling here. Hope y'all ready. Hope y'all ready. I got music on in the background. Well, y'all probably can't hear it, but I can hear it. Some soothing tunes playing off of the TV in the living room. And we in here. Yeah. Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. Welcome to the new moon in Gemini, the new moon in Gemini. We are here, actually apexed very early this morning. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, the moon is actually at, I want to say, 21 degrees of Gemini. Actually, pretty much in the dead center between the sun and Mercury. So, got some good energies going on here. Got some good energies going on. How's your day been? How has your day been? How's the moment been for you all? Thank you all so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. What's up, Aang? How are you doing? What's up, Jonathan? How are you doing today? Yeah, YouTube's been kind of weird lately, actually. Apparently, like, YouTube went down a few days ago. It was either yesterday or the day before. Apparently, YouTube went down for a while. I don't really know what's going on. But anyways, I appreciate you guys hopping on here with me. Want to wait to get a few more people. Actually, we're just gonna chat. This new moon in Gemini, we're just gonna chat it up. We're just gonna chat it up. We're going to communicate. Interesting enough, I was trying to figure out what to name this. I was trying to figure out what to name this broadcast, and on my desk I have this oracle deck, and this card has been face up on my desk for a while. It's the card of universal love, and I just drew a random card from the deck without even looking at what it was, and I actually got communication. So I was like, well, that just seems perfect for a Gemini new moon, about communicating universal love. That's really what this is about, communicating universal love. An unbridled love that is non-judgmental, that is all embracing, all accepting. And, this does not mean that, you can't have quote unquote preferences, or you can't establish boundaries, but this is about establishing a deeper communication with the core of who we are in the name of universal love, because that's all that really exists, is universal love. So this is about embracing who we are, all of who we are, and just, embracing everyone too. That's the thing. We have to embrace each other. We have to take care of each other. We have to show more compassion towards each other. There's still a lot of Cancer energy going on, guys. There's still a good bit of water energy going on. We have Mars in Cancer. We have the North Node in Cancer. We have Neptune in Pisces, which will actually be going retrograde later this month. But even though we do have a good bit of this Earth energy, we also do have a lot of planets at home. We have a lot of planets at home. We have Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius. We have Neptune in Pisces. We have Saturn retrograde in Capricorn. We have Venus in Taurus. We have Mercury in Gemini. We have a lot of planets at home. So when we're dealing with this communication of this universal love and accepting other people, this doesn't mean that you can't, go to war. This doesn't mean that you have to, go so far away from your home or your comfort zone and stuff like that. Now, there's a danger of being in your comfort zone, because if you stay in your comfort zone for too long, it does not yield to expansion or growth or the gaining of knowledge or wisdom. But at the same time, there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed. It's like, even though you can go on a vacation and have fun and do all these different things, even though you can go out into the world and communicate, this is a Gemini new moon. So it's like, even I think about like a night out in the town with your friends or with your buddies, whatever like that. You go out, you have a good time, but then when you come home, there's nothing like getting home and then laying in your bed. There's comfort there. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with coming back to that home energy and coming back to what you feel comfortable in. You don't necessarily want to get stuck there per se, but with all of these energies at home, this is still about, we have to make this vessel our home. You know, a lot of people are not comfortable within their bodies. I'm not 100% comfortable with my body, to be honest. I have some things I got to work on as far as that goes, especially when it comes to like, you know, my physical health, my mental health and stuff like that. But this is with all these planets at home during this new moon, and especially with these energies, you know, we have Mercury here in Gemini as well with the sun. There's no other energies here in Gemini. This is a very pure new moon. This is a very pure and powerful new moon for setting new intentions, for moving things forward, for kind of looking at our surroundings, looking at our neighborhood, looking at, you know, looking at all these little intricacies of our day, and really starting to like rearrange and order things around to where it actually begins to communicate back to us universal love. Communication doesn't just come verbally, it comes in actions, it comes in like just what we see around us. Like I have these different things around me, right? I have the paintings, the cards, the dolphin, you know, I got my staff here, I got my sword here. This is all communication. So you have to set up your environment in a way that communicates back to you universal love. A lot of people, what happens a lot of times is that people don't necessarily even put into their environment that which they want to attract, you know. So it's like you have to put into your environment that which you want to attract. This is what makes vision boards pretty powerful. You know, vision boards are, you know, they kind of came out within like the past, you know, I don't know, I guess like 20 years or so, especially with The Secret, and you know, where you would literally create like this board, like you get like a cork board or something like that, and you literally place up things up there that you want, things that you want to attract into your life. And these vision boards are very important because you are looking at it every day and you're constantly reaffirming, it's like, you know, I want to experience that. I want to gain that experience. I want that thing, you know. So there's a little bit of desire that goes in here as well. Of course, desire ruled by Scorpio is that King Kung-sing energy, but there's no energies in Scorpio. So, and with all of this mutable energy too, you know, the sun, Mercury, of course, the moon in Gemini, we have Neptune in Pisces, we have Jupiter in Sag. There's a lot of mutability right now. There's a lot of changeability right now, especially with the sun being in Gemini. You know, when we move from that mutable air to that cardinal water, that's when we're really going to start to hammer home, what is it that makes us feel comfortable? What is it that we feel like that's true to us? But we have to go through this new moon first. We have to establish the new surroundings. We have to establish the new communication. We have to establish these new connections so that when we move into the full moon in Sagittarius and we're having to release perhaps outdated beliefs, and then we get into Cancer season in the summer solstice. Cancer season is going to be crazy this year. I don't know if you looked up the astrology, it's going to be crazy. But then that's when we're really going to start to feel out more of like, you know, all right, this is what I need to do. This is how I'm really feeling about this. This is where I'm vibing and stuff. But this is the new moon in Gemini. So this is a very, very powerful new moon for setting intentions, for writing things down. And in fact, that's why I told you guys to bring some notebook and paper, because we're going to be doing an automatic writing session. If you don't know what automatic writing is, it's essentially where you sit down for maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter how long you can do it. You can do it for 30 seconds, you can do it for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and you just write. You write stream of consciousness, unfiltered thoughts right on the paper, just blah, right? And you just, it's kind of like a big release, but it's also reflecting back to you kind of what's on the forefront of your mind. And then you will notice that a lot of things that weren't necessarily on the forefront of your mind may start to come up during this automatic writing. We're not going to get into that just yet, but now is your chance to go get some paper and pen, because we will be at some point doing an automatic writing session. After that automatic writing session, what we're going to be doing was that we're going to actually have a moment of silence. I know Geminis are it's a very chatty energy. It's a very communicative energy, but silence is also communication. So we're going to have a moment of silence as well. I'm not sure necessarily how long we'll do it for. We'll have a moment of silence where we just kind of sit with ourselves and sit with our energy, sit within the energy of the collective, send each other healing energy as well. But yeah, let me look at the chat and see what's going on with you guys. I had a good day. I'm doing well. What about you? I had a good day as well. I'm in a transitioning phase in my life right now. I'm transitioning between jobs, or more so, I feel like I'm transitioning from a job more into a career. So, this is my last week at the restaurant that I've been working at, and then I will be going uh, pretty much into the family business more and wanting to, expand it and bring more business in. Of course, there's a lot of other things, a lot of other goals I have too. Of course, growing the channel and doing more readings, um, writing more. Of course, I always have write a novel idea, but I have another one where it's like one of my old characters, which is one who I really, really identify with. It's kind of come back, so it's um it's kind of interesting. But anyways, I'm not going to really talk too much about that because I'm going to do the Scorpio thing and keep it kind of secretive and kind of protect it for a little bit because I want to make sure that I give it the proper energy and the attention that it needs to manifest. But um, yeah, I had a good day. I had a little moment there where I had some anxiety trying to creep in and stuff like that. And honestly, it's kind of like a daily battle, the battle with anxiety. Some days are better than others. Today wasn't that bad. But some days are better than others. So I want to pair it, but I don't think my mom's down for that, so I'll settle with fish. Yo, I actually went to someone's house and they had a giant bird cage in the middle of their living room that had two macaws in it, like two blue macaws. So you can get a parrot. I mean, I guess yeah, your mom probably wouldn't be down for that, but I mean, it's definitely possible. Like someone actually had parrots as like pets. I saw that. I actually witnessed that, which was pretty damn cool. I was not expecting that walking into this person's house. I was like, oh, I was going to a concert. I was going to a concert and we were carpooling, so we were picking this person up, and we walked in and she literally had two parrots sitting in the middle of her living room, and I was like, holy fuck, you don't see that every day. That was crazy. That was actually one of my first concerts. It was a Tiesto concert. That was an awesome concert. I'm pretty sure over half of the people there were high on ecstasy, but that was cool. But yes, communicating universal love, and I'm gonna also draw cards for the 12 signs as well. And I'm gonna just go ahead and slip this in here as far as like things coming up on the channel. I wanted to do June horoscopes for the 12 signs. What I'm probably going to do is there are certain transits this month that I really do want to focus on. So I'm going to make individual videos for each of those, and I'll probably draw cards for the signs in those videos. Because we have this massive T square that's going to be coming up, which is also going to lead into a giant mutable Grand Cross too. So we'll have energies in all four mutable signs that are making aspects to each other, which is going to be huge. Neptune, of course, going retrograde, and then we have Mars getting closer to the north node. We have Mercury that's going to get close to the north node. There's a lot of stuff happening in June, so I want to, of course, inform you all on that, give you all my 2 cents on what is going on with these, what can we expect, but also just kind of be open to the changes, be open to a lot of what's going to be happening, because like I said, there's a lot of mutable energy that's being triggered this month, but then we're going to make this shift into the cardinal energy when the sun makes its transition into Cancer. So it's definitely going to be a very powerful month. I think compared to the past few months, you're going to see a lot more changes this month as far as whether you see things apparent in your your external life. There's going to be a lot of internal changes this month. There's going to be a lot of internal shifts this month. I really do feel that. And you will start to see it reflected in your external reality too. Some of you may be switching jobs, such as me. Some of you may be getting into relationships, leaving relationships. Some of you may be moving. That's another thing that could be happening. I can see a lot of people just decided to move, or they're in the process of moving. Some people are going to be getting married. There's going to be a lot of big shifts this month, and it's going to it's definitely going to be, I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. I think it's going to be a powerful thing, but at the same time, there is going to be this rev up of emotion as well towards the end of the month, which is definitely going to test us if we haven't gone through the proper channels of processing these emotions. And this is when having courage comes into play. This is when having faith comes into play. This is when having trust comes into play. That, you know, especially when it comes to this new moon leading in, kicking off the month, you know, here on the 3rd of June, this new moon kicking off the month, this is definitely going to be, you know, the universe really is wanting us to tap into that deeper resource that we all have within us, and to really bring forth, you know, that beauty. You know, one of the things about Gemini is that Gemini is shapeshifter energy. Really, all the mutable signs are, but Gemini especially is a shapeshifter energy. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because the tricky thing about the shapeshifter energy is that there are people and situations that you can come across after this new moon or during this new moon or during this month that may present themselves of having good intentions, but really they're not really there for your, you may see it as negative energy or negative expansion, which sounds interesting because negative means to take away from, but expansion means to grow. So it's kind of a paradox. But even, it was interesting, I was listening to Dolo earlier and he was talking about happiness, and I thought it was a brilliant video because, you know, he was essentially talking about how we can take a negative situation and, you know, turn it into something good, and how even if something that happens to us we may perceive it as negative, or maybe we get into an argument with someone, or maybe something doesn't go our way, we have to see it as, you know what, that's the universe actually protecting me from a situation that wasn't meant for me. Like say you know, you don't get a job that you applied for. That could have been the universe saving you from coming into contact with coworkers that would bring your vibration down, or having a shitty ass boss, or perhaps there was, you know, this is kind of a very extreme example, but you know, perhaps, you know, and I actually had a dream about this, so I can talk about that. I got to talk about this. This is a dream I had a long time ago, where I was driving and I wanted to go a particular way, and something told me to not go that way. And I kind of was perturbed from going that way anyways. I think it was like I was trying to avoid traffic essentially, and I went around, and then it like flashed to another scene where I saw a truck literally T-bone a car, like an 18-wheeler T-bone a car, and I know that my car would have been that car that the truck had T-boned. So sometimes things happen to us that we perceive as negative, or we perceive as, oh, man, why didn't I get that? Man, why didn't that happen to me? And it's like, sometimes the universe is setting you up to where you don't get freaking T-boned by an 18-wheeler. So we have to trust that communication. We have to trust and have faith that even things that aren't working out in our favor, even things that we may perceive that communication as negative or going against us, that it's actually going for us. So this shapeshifter energy, we're all tapping into it right now. And we have to be able to use it to our advantage. And I would say, obviously, a positive way, in a way that exemplifies the love, the unconditional, universal love that we have for ourselves, and therefore that we have for others. Because when you establish that unconditional, universal love that you have for yourself, it's automatically going to spill over to other people. It's just going to automatically spill over. And what's up, Be the Infinity? How are you doing? And of course, my wonderful partner Lauren is in the building. Thank you so much for joining. But it's, you know, and I understand it can be tough. I think everyone right now, we all are encountering situations in our life that may be trying to appear as one way when truly they're another way. And that's the thing about Gemini. Gemini is a very curious energy. It's a very curious energy. It's opposite Sagittarius. You know, it's a very curious energy. And Gemini really wants to know the truth. It's a truth seeker energy. So it's everyone right now is seeking truth. They're seeking truth in their relationships. They're seeking truth in their jobs. They're seeking truth in well, like, you know, their emotions, their health. They're seeking truth in all areas of their life. Of course, you want to see, if you want to know kind of more in particular about, and it's spilling over into all houses. But of course, if you want to look at, you know, your house system and where this is falling. Like for me, depending upon what house system you use, I usually use Placidus, but I also, you know, look at equal house as well. But for me, this new moon is hitting my 6th house. It's actually kind of close to my 7th house cusp. Actually, let me think about that. It actually is hitting my 7th house because my 7th house cusp is Gemini 8 degrees. Yeah, so this is actually hitting my 7th house. So this is, for me, it's just all about relationships, whether it's romantic, whether it's work, whether it's friendships, just communication, establishing, networking. It's all about that sort of stuff. And of course, especially the relationship that I have with myself, the relationship that I have with spirit. That's what this is. That's what's going on here with me, as far as like where it's hitting in my house. And I've definitely been feeling that. I've definitely been feeling that theme. I've also been feeling mostly the theme with me personally, as far as like the relationship that I have with myself. I know that the two things that I really need to work on is my physical and my mental health. I'm not terribly out of shape, but I am not where I want to be physically and mentally too. I need to actually get back onto a meditation regime. I remember when when it was funny, I was working with my dad and my brother today, and we were talking about how when we were younger, you know, we played football growing up. We were some of the most in shape kids out there because we ran a lot. You know, when we weren't at practice, we ran miles. We did push-ups. We lifted weights. We did Tai Bo. Tai Bo was a workout. Don't get it twisted. I can't even keep up with Tai Bo. Who remembers Tai Bo? Is anyone here old enough to remember Tai Bo? Like, oh my goodness, we used to do that stuff, and we were very in shape. And I'm 27, so I know I can get back to there. And then as far as my mental health, I never really had a huge issue with my mental health when I was a kid. I never really had a huge issue with it. It wasn't until recently where it started to become more of an issue. And I'm starting to realize, and that could be, you know, just growing up and maturing, and I've been hurt. I've dealt with different traumas, and I've been going through a lot of these growing pains. But it's like now this is a time, especially I've noticed with me, to establish more positive feedback loops, to where if I'm not just necessarily focusing on something or like focusing on a particular thought or just like actively thinking about something, you know how random thoughts will just come up? Those random thoughts that come up, you know, it's about establishing a positive feedback loop of information, a communication to you. So that's why, like, you know, I've been getting in the habit of, you know, doing my best to say my gratitudes in the morning, or right before I go into work, I say a prayer. Doing different things like that, where I'll just simply tell myself stuff. And sometimes when you're in a state where you're not necessarily feeling in the greatest vibration, sometimes you have to tap into that shapeshifter energy and kind of do the sort of fake it till you make it. That doesn't mean that you're fake, although a lot of times you'll see memes that are funny about Geminis being fake and two-faced. But it's like, you know, it's not that you're being fake. It's that you recognize that you want to step into a higher vibration because you want to embody that energy, and you're going to do what it takes. So you'll start saying these things to yourself like, I am powerful. I am amazing. I am strong. I am wealthy. I am healthy. You start saying these things to yourself, even if it's not readily, even though it may not be readily apparent, even though the truth and the facts may be telling you, no, you're these things, you're these things. Well, this is a time, it's new moon in Gemini. You got to remember, Gemini is also, it's a very magical energy. All the immutable signs are magic, and Geminis are really honestly just like, they're underestimated. Let's just be real. Gemini energy is very underestimated. I know quite a few Geminis, and Gemini energy is very underestimated. I talk to cells and organs when I work out. It really helps pushing my limits. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Be the Infinite. That's perfect. We talk to ourselves. Me and my dad were talking about this earlier, about how, you know, someone who is sick and they may have cancer or like that. Now it's like, or someone's like really sick and then they go in and then they find out they have like a certain disease, whatever like that. And then the doctor tells them. Now it's like they have in their head, oh, I'm sick. So they're literally telling their cells, I'm sick. And then the cells will begin to atrophy and die. But you have to tell yourself, you know, I am healthy. I am cured. I am healed. One thing that I'm going to write this down actually because I thought this was really powerful. I was watching the High Vibe TV, you know, new moon ceremony, and one thing that came to mind for me, I thought, was with every breath I take, I am healed. And that's when I said that, I got a chill. I got like this feeling. I was like, oh wow, that was interesting. I felt instantly lighter when I said that. With every breath I take, I am healed. With every breath I take, I am healed. So this is a powerful, and this new moon in Gemini, it's kind of simple. I'm not saying that it doesn't have its depth, but it's kind of simple. Establishing better communication, establishing this communication seated in universal love for ourselves, therefore for everyone else around us, as our cup spilleth over. That's what this new moon in Gemini is about. Yeah, talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to the planets. This is a good new moon for talking to the planets. Talk to Mercury. Talk to Jupiter. Talk to Neptune. Talk to Saturn. You know, talk to the sun. Talk to these things. A lot of people may think you're crazy for doing these things. Go outside. Talk to the trees. Talk to the rocks. Talk to the sky. Talk to the water. People may think you're crazy, but I'm telling you, you have the ability, and they will talk back. Guarantee you, they will speak back. The universe works in mysterious ways, I'm telling you, but they will speak back, and it's an amazing, humbling, and beautiful experience to be part of. And so I'm just here to do my part. And here's something else I wrote down. It's funny because like I noticed that like sometimes I feel like I'm off my spiritual path, and sometimes I feel like I'm not as I don't give myself the credit I feel like I deserve. Sometimes I'm like really hard on myself. That's probably my Virgo energy. I have Jupiter and Virgo in the 9th house, so it's like I'm kind of hard on myself when it comes to like my beliefs and all that stuff like that. But I noticed that what I will do is like I'll write things down. If I hear something that really resonates, I will write it down, and it may end up being in a random part in the house, but then I'll see it and I'm like, you know, I remember when I wrote that. Or even if I don't remember it, I recall the energy. And here's something I wrote down, actually. I don't know if you guys can see it, hopefully. But it says, I wrote it down and I followed through. I wrote it down and I followed through. That's very powerful, you know? Because, you know, that's an interesting thing about words and communication is that really when it comes to, you know, explaining what this experience really is, life, universe, God, spirituality, words don't really do it justice. Not really. We can only get so close. But there's still power in words. And words are spells, you know? Words are spells. So it's like you want to be careful about the spells that you're casting during this new moon. You want to be careful about the spells that you're casting. You also want to make sure that, you know, we can talk about some of the other energies around this. You know, we have Venus in Taurus in its home sign in the 12th house to the sun, making trines over to all this Capricorn energy. So it's like we have this, you know, 12th house, 8th house kind of energy here, you know, in comparison to, you know, where the sun is between Venus and all this Capricorn energy. And guess who's in Capricorn? You know, we have Saturn retrograde there, which is kind of, in many ways, kind of recalling the whole Saturn and Scorpio transit that we had several years back. Then we have the South Node there. We have Pluto there, which rules Scorpio, rules the natural 8th house, but also retrograde. So it's like there can be this sense right now that, you know, with this aspect between Venus during this new moon, with this Venus in the 12th house to the sun, 12th house, which is about spirituality, it's about imagination, it's about magic, making this trine over to this 8th house energy with all the Capricorn energy, which of course is about structure, it's about, you know, building things in many ways. It's about kind of long-term efforts to achieve a goal, but all those energies are retrograde. This is really a time where, you know, since those energies are retrograde, a lot of the secrets that we may have been hiding, you know, we can't really hide them. We can't really hide them from ourselves anymore. That's for sure. So any secrets that you might have been hiding from yourself, which is really fucking hard, they're kind of coming out right now. The South Node, and Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn. You know, they're coming out right now. So this is really a time, and especially with Venus and Taurus, this is a time where, you know, we cannot be focused on the end goal. In many ways, as far as building something, Capricorn's kind of the end goal. Yes, there's Aquarius and Pisces that comes after Capricorn, yes. But as far as like building something, as far as manifesting something, like physically manifesting something, Capricorn is kind of the end goal, right? But with all those energies retrograde, and with Venus going forward in the 12th house of spirituality in comparison to the sun, this is a time of trusting and having faith in kind of the daily grind almost. Because Taurus energy, it is the foundation. It is the foundation. So this is like, you know, this is really about not focusing on the end goal, not focusing on what society as painted for us on how things should be or what we should strive for. This is about our foundation. If you don't have a good foundation, that building ain't gonna last. I don't care what you reinforce that building with. If it doesn't have a good foundation, it ain't going nowhere. It's not gonna stay up too long, right? You have to have a solid foundation. And this new moon is talking about having a solid foundation in our trust and our faith in spirit and universal love and the God force and source consciousness, whatever you want to call it, but knowing that we are seated in that universal love, and by establishing, you know, these roots, by establishing this deeper sense of faith, this unshakable force of faith, then it does not really matter. The end goal doesn't really matter at that point. We can have a goal that we're striving towards, but the end goal doesn't really matter, because no matter what you go through, you will rise. No matter what you go through, no matter if you rise or fall, rise and fall. And that's what life is. It's a rise and a fall, rise and a fall, rise and a fall. But so long as you have that faith and you have that trust, which can seem blind in many ways. It can seem blind. We gotta remember the 12th house is the hidden house. You know, it's a hidden house. It's right before, you gotta think, the 12th house naturally rules 4 to 6 a.m. in the morning. So this is right before the sun comes up. And oftentimes it's kind of the darkest right before the sun comes up. Sometimes we can't see in that energy. It's the ocean. You know, we can't always, the light doesn't always reach the bottom of the ocean, you know. It does, but it changes form. But this is a new moon of reestablishing this trust, reestablishing this faith, and building from that place. And not being afraid if it's kind of slow or a bit of a daily grind. Taurus, if you technically look at it as far as like fixed earth, it's the slowest sign. But, you know, Taurus has no issue with just chilling in the field eating grass all day, you know. I was like I say, you got to build a foundation, you know. Can't just go right. a lot of people, when it comes to like, you know, when you think of like building houses and all this sort of stuff, you see a lot of people getting into HGTV and all these different shows, and a lot of it's renovation. A lot of it's renovation. A lot of people right now, there is this energy where they want to renovate a house. They want to build a house. And I'm taking this in a metaphorical sense. But a lot of people right now, they want to just kind of gut out a house and renovate it. But no one wants to actually build a house anymore. Have you noticed that? Nobody wants to actually build a house, create the foundation, build it from the ground up. People just want to renovate. They want to just be like, you know what? I think I can kind of work with this situation. So let me just go into the situation, kind of renovate it a little bit, and then I can maybe will feel a little bit more comfortable. I may feel a little bit better about this. No, you got to build from the ground up. You have to create your own. That's why there's a lot of confusion right now. A lot of people are trying to do things that have already been done. And it's like, yeah, I guess technically there's nothing new under the sun. But at the same time, it's like you can't just go into a situation and just kind of renovate it, you know? You gotta build from the ground up. There's a building from the ground up kind of energy here. Why is Gemini season making things so confusing? I'm going nuts. Probably, well, I'm not going to talk about your personal chart right here. Gemini energy is very confusing. It can be confusing, especially if, you know, you're not, you know, if you're not keeping your thoughts in check, you know, and it's hard to completely regulate your thoughts. But what are ways that we can regulate our thoughts? Breathing exercises, meditation, positive self-talk, listening to good music, writing things down, writing things out. It could be, you know, when writing things out can be a very powerful way of getting out this excess of information, you know, so it doesn't take up too much, you know, space or RAM within us. I'm using a computer term, RAM, right? So it's like, it can be confusing because what's happening is that in Gemini season, everyone's talking. Everyone's spirit is talking, even if they're not talking. Everyone's talking. So there's a lot of things being spouted around, a lot of truth and deception being spouted around, and your spirit's picking up on it. So not every voice you hear is yours. Don't get it twisted. Not every voice you hear is yours. It's a lot of stuff being chatting. It's a pretty chatty time. Chat, 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 chat. So it's like Aang Wu-Tang said, like Aang Wu-Tang just said, make something new under the sun. Make something new under the sun. You know? They say everything's been done before, but we didn't have the internet, at least not in the way that we have the internet now. We didn't have computers in the 1600s. Unless they invented them and they were hiding it from the general public, but we didn't have computers in the 1600s. We didn't have Teslas in the 1500s, you know? We didn't have that stuff. So new things happen all the time. New things happen all the time. People just want to, they just want to renovate. They want to renovate their life. Can't renovate, I mean, you can't just renovate your life all the time. Sometimes we have to renovate. Sometimes we have to make updates, right? But sometimes you need to, sometimes you have to go from ground zero. You have to go back to box one. You have to start from step one sometimes. And I think this month, especially kicking off with this new moon, I think a lot of people are realizing that there's probably at least one area in their life where they have to feel like they have to build from the ground up. At least one area in their life. You know, kind of go back to square one. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong going back to square one. So, well, if you don't mind me airing out your dirty laundry, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your 12th house. So, I mean, for you especially, Lauren, this is about you establishing a deeper sense of faith in yourself and a deeper sense of trust in the universe at large, since this is happening in your 12th house. And new moons bring new energy. It brings a new seed. So this is about you establishing a deeper connection. Even if things in your external reality may be telling you one thing, you have to have the faith and trust that that is not necessarily the case, and that there is something good waiting for you, is something fortuitous and wonderful waiting for you. Sometimes it's hard because with so many things around us that may seem like they're just not working out or not going in our favor, we have to be able to tell ourselves that, you know, it is working in my favor. It is working in my favor. This is especially for you, this is a huge new moon for trust. Trust, 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 trust. Sometimes trust and faith can feel blind, but it's about trust. It's about trust. Think about that very famous video of the blind autistic guy playing the piano. You know, it's like he probably knows where the keys are now based off of, like, you know, just kind of like memory and like feeling it out. But, you know, I'm sure he had to have a deep level of trust in himself to go on that show, to know where the keys are on the piano, to know that he has the ability to sing like that, you know. Trust. Overcoming our current situation and our circumstances. It's like, can you metaphorically play the keyboard of life with a blindfold on? It may sound like crap the first few times, but can you metaphorically play the keyboard of life with a blindfold on and still rock the house? You know, let's hop onto this automatic writing session. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this automatic writing session. I'm trying to think if we should do the automatic writing session before or after we do the moment of silence. I'm trying to think. Let's do it before, just because with automatic writing, we'll kind of be able to get some stuff out of our thought process and out of our mental space that will help to clear up, you know, this moment of silence that we're going to be engaging in. So I'm going to set a timer on my phone, and we're going to do this automatic writing session. But I'm going to, and even if you don't do it during this time, we can also, you know, oh, hold on, crap. Can I I have different timers on here. Can I like get like a different one? Hold on, pause. Okay, here. We're going to do it. Well, let's see. Hold on. This new moon happened. I want to say this new moon happened at 12 degrees. I want to say it happened at 12 degrees. I'm going to do it for 2 minutes and 12 seconds. That's how long I'm going to do this automatic writing session for. It's funny too because the moon's actually at 21 degrees, and when this new moon happened, it was actually at 12 degrees. So we had the new moon at 12 degrees, we had the moon at 21 degrees. We're going to do this automatic writing session for 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So if you would like to get some pen and paper, you're very welcome, Burbs, and know that I'm always here for you, even when I don't answer my text messages immediately. Your text messages immediately. But anyways, make sure you have some pen and paper. We're going to do this automatic writing session. Then we're going to go into our moment of silence. I'm gonna give everyone just another minute or so to gather their materials. And really, you can write This is automatic writing. So it's like write literally whatever comes to your mind. This is like really word vomit onto the page. All right. Automatic writing is a very healing thing. I do it not as often as I should. I really should do automatic writing every day if I really want to be honest about it. But see, Angleton came prepared. See, there you go. I appreciate it. Yes, that's good. That's very good. I'm going to hit my vape one more time. And I'm going to make sure that you guys can actually hear my timer. So when it goes off. Okay. All right, guys. We are going to start very, very soon. Make sure that everything's all right. All right, guys. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Automatic writing for the new moon in Gemini. Make sure that you have a pen that actually writes well. Sometimes I get pens that will stop like in mid sentence or mid like in the middle of a word. I'm like, ah! It's like one of my biggest pet peeves as a writer. I'm just like, I need to have good ink. All right, let's do this, guys. See that timer? And we are off. You know what, guys? We might have to do a second one because, like, I was like kind of in mid thought, and it was just like it went by a lot faster than I thought it did. That went by a lot faster than I thought it did. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the moment of silence, okay, and then we're going to come back and do another automatic writing session, right? That's what we're going to do. Dang, I'm sorry it keeps freezing like that. Yeah, that went by so fast. I think the next one we might have to kick it up to 333. I actually enjoyed that. I did too. It's fun to see what comes out. I'll read to you all what I got. Yeah, it felt like it went by so super fast. I'm just starting the timer again just to see. No, that was actually 212. I wonder if there's a way for me to edit this particular one. Let's see, hold on. Settings. Well, I'm gonna add another timer for 333. So we'll come back to that after the moment of silence. But I actually will go ahead and read you all what I got, at least for my first one. This is what I got. I have a gift that I want to bring forth. I sort of know how. I believe I've done it before. Perhaps I can, perhaps I am right now, but it hurts sometimes. Not the gift, but the doubt of my ability to move forward, to trust my instincts, to decipher what is right. This seems constrained, or I guess the word is honestly escaping me right now. But I want to be free, to be me, to love me, with honest expression and an open heart, filled to the brim with joy, overflowing. Is that too much to ask? That's what I got actually out of my automatic writing. So, yeah, honestly, the word that I was looking for, it was escaping me, but I kind of felt like it was stream of consciousness, but it felt very structured. That's why. That's kind of the feeling that I got from this particular automatic writing session. So I guess that's how it kind of took the turn that it took at the end. But yeah, what you'll notice about the automatic writing, and this is a practice that you can really implement quite simply. Like literally, just you set a timer for however long you want to do it. You can do like that was only 2 minutes and 12 seconds. You saw how fast it went by. I only got half of the page. I've done automatic writing sessions where I went like 2 pages deep. So it's like you can set it for 5 minutes. You can do longer. And you just write and write and write, and you just pretty much do your best to just not stop. So, oh, let's see, Be the Infinity. I am capable of achieving all my desires and dreams, but I know that I must let go of my need for security. This is an illusion. Ooh, yes. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for having the vulnerability to share. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, we will have to do another automatic writing after the moment of silence, which the moment of silence is going to, we're going to do a, yeah, what we can do is that we can literally just do a moment of silence for the 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and then we'll go into the second automatic writing. And really what we can do is that we can just practice deep breathing. And I'm probably going to turn the camera off too. We literally just practice deep breathing. But I hope you all enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. I love automatic writing. I think it's one of the best practices that I've come across that I've done. Really helps to get you more in touch with your thoughts, your thought process. Really helps you to get more in touch with your spirit and your soul. It's kind of like having a diary, essentially. Like you're just kind of like spilling out your guts. So it's like, yeah. It's like I think it's good to have a journal or a diary or something like that. Very powerful tools we have. Very powerful tools. In many ways, Gemini kind of does rule tools. Gemini rules the extremities, right? It rules, the arms, the hands, the fingers, the legs. It rules the extremities, and tools are sort of like an extremity of, our body, these tools, so it's Gemini rules all this. So this is about, establishing as better communication with your extremities, so this would also be a good new moon for dance. I know the Leo King is going to be doing his new moon ceremony, and I'm probably going to be dancing it up in my living room later, but this is what I love about Gemini energy is that it's a very light energy, even, and it's sometimes, all signs have a positive and negative, whatever like that. But it's like, it's Gemini is a very light energy. It can be a very fun energy. It can be deceptive like any energy. It can be two-faced, but Gemini energy is a very light energy. So this is, a new moon that, you don't want to take everything so seriously too. You know what I mean? This isn't Cancer season yet. So you don't want to take everything so seriously. So um yeah, so this is like, we have to kind of sometimes, it can be kind of hard too, because with Mars, our ego in Cancer and the North Node there as well, it can be kind of hard to detach emotionally a bit. But this is kind of a new moon for a little bit of that emotional detachment, and not really get too harped up on, that realm of things. Not that we just push our emotions to the side or cast them aside and not consider them, but learn to process them differently. Learn to process them in a more healthy fashion, so that when we go out into our world, our neighborhood, we act and respond in a way that's more uplifting. So interesting thoughts, P Light. Exactly, right. We have time to breathe, refresh, and be light with our energy before emotionally diving with Cancer. That is so very true. That is so very true. We have to take the time to breathe during Gemini season, take in a breath of fresh air, breathe, be light with our energy, because then when we dive into Cancer, oh my goodness, you're going to need a lot of deep breaths. You're going to need you're going to need that oxygen. You're going to need that energy, because then we're going to just dive in. And it's gonna be, Cancer energy is like when you got this cardinal water energy. It's gonna be these deeper emotions. It's the crab. Crabs usually chill at the bottom of the lake. They chill at the bottom of the river, the bottom of the ocean. So it's like, um, this is it, guys. This is the time. Uh, I have too much fun with this. That's not true. I want to have more fun. All right, guys. We're going to do the moment of silence. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my camera off, and I'm going to just literally do some like deep breathing. So we're going to be doing this we're going to be doing this for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So I will see you all soon. Let me turn the camera off. See my beautiful mug there, smiling brightly with that yellow flower chilling behind my head. Anyways, I'm going to start the timer. I'm going to start the timer for the moment of silence now. Time slowed down, y'all. That was intense. It was only a minute longer than the writing session, but time seriously slowed down. All right, guys, we're gonna go right into the next automatic writing session. So I'm gonna restart the timer. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. All right. How was that, y'all? The moment of silence going into the second automatic writing session. That one was very personal for me. That was a very personal automatic writing session for me. See, but yeah, I hope that you guys all enjoyed that. I'm gonna give a little more time. Then we're gonna draw signs for the cards. The moon's gonna be in. Let's see how long the moon's gonna be in Gemini for. It's still gonna be here for a while. The moon just moved to 22 degrees of Gemini. So we're at, actually, the fact that we are doing this writing and this, you guys have to understand, like, we just did like a major quantum level shift. You got like 22 degrees, 2 plus 2 is 4. This is Uranus energy. This is Aquarius energy, which does deal with this quantum level stuff. So this automatic writing and this moment of silence, this whole ceremony that we just did, that we just took part in, each and every one of us, not only do we connect our intentions together, but this is like a serious quantum shift that we just jumped through a portal, guys. We just hopped through a massive portal with the moon moving to 22 degrees during this whole thing. So like, guys, like, are you like, changes? I'm telling you, June, changes, big changes are going to be coming. Powerful changes are going to be coming. The moon's going to be here for, the moon is actually going to conjunct Mercury tomorrow, just right before Mercury goes into Cancer. So the moon and Mercury are going to conjunct tomorrow morning around 11:36 a.m. at 29 degrees. So if you want to wake up in the morning and after your dreams, it'll be very powerful to keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams tonight. But Mercury will be shifting into Cancer with the moon tomorrow. Mercury will hit Cancer at 4:04, and then the moon will hit Cancer. Well, the moon will actually be at 2 degrees of Cancer when the moon shifts in. So just like that, we're going to have one of these planets that's been in their home sign shift. You're almost going to feel a little bit lighter because the moon and Mercury are going to be shifting out of Gemini into Cancer. So it's like, even though the sun, where we're kind of focusing on, our awareness is focused on, things are going to seem a little bit lighter. Even though we're going to be shifting more into this watery energy, but you're going to feel this shift. You're going to feel this shift from this new moon going into tomorrow. You're going to feel simultaneously lighter, but you're also going to start to notice that your emotions are really going to start to speak to you. They're going to really start to speak to you. And this is a major moment. This new moon in Gemini. This is a very powerful moment for establishing that communication with ourselves in the name, in the vibration, in the support, in the signature of universal love, that we have for ourselves and we have for other people. So big stuff, guys, big stuff. Balance is key, the greatest melody I see. So I flow with the ocean waves and pave my path to destiny. Hey! Oh, nice. Very good. I love it. I wrote, I was sent there for a reason, and that is to transition everything to the new. There was so much resistance, but I finally feel the shift helping me to dismantle this fading tower. Ooh, y'all getting poetic over here. Y'all getting poetic. I wasn't even poetic with mine, and I'm a poet. I actually have a poetry book that I wrote. Y'all getting poetic over here, man. Y'all dropping bars over here. Y'all dropping gold. I love it. Man, y'all gonna make me want to write a poem after this. This is awesome. I love you guys. I love y'all guys so much. Y'all gotta know that. I love you guys so much. I really do. Hope that you all have enjoyed this. I definitely have. It's probably has been one of the more fun lives I think I've done as of lately. I'm trying to use for this. I forget what deck I want to use for this. Let's see, what's this? This is a. Let's see, that's my. I don't want to use that deck. That's not one. So I have so many freaking decks, guys. It's freaking insane. Let's see. Let's see. What deck am I going to use? What deck am I going to use? What deck am I going to use? I haven't used this deck in a hot minute. I haven't used this deck in a hot minute. You know what? I'm going to use this deck. I'm going to use this deck. This is my Osho Zen Tarot deck, actually. I haven't used this deck in a while, so I know he's kind of a bit of a polarizing figure, Osho, but I do really enjoy the imagery of this deck and stuff. I think it's really interesting. I think it's a unique take on things. So reeling, I got relativity, proclivity, validity of dreams. I find time to rhyme and the meaning created therein, spinning like the wheel of fortune. Reeling, perfect imperfection can perplex us just as easily as the freedom to be. Man, y'all getting poetic over here. Golly. Y'all getting poetic. I love it, man. Mine was like literally just like me just ranting about stuff. That one was me ranting about you know, my relationship and stuff like that. So but and something that I haven't really been honest with you guys about. Well, not honest with you guys, just haven't told you guys the whole thing. But as far as my anxiety, a lot of the time my anxiety is health anxiety, but I have anxiety about my relationship as well. And I stumbled upon this thing called ROCD, which is called Relationship Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Apparently, it's this thing where people overthink their relationship, and even if they actually are in a good relationship and there aren't necessarily any terrible like flags to assume or to let one know otherwise that the relationship may be over, you literally can be overthinking your relationship. And you know, with some people when I first heard this thing, I thought it was kind of, I honestly didn't think it existed, because I would think like maybe it's just time to leave the relationship. But it's like, you know, I watch these videos. I'm actually a part of a group online of other people who deal with this thing, and it's actually kind of, you know, it kind of confirms a lot of the thoughts that I have and stuff like that, which don't necessarily make sense, and things aren't going to make sense and stuff like that. But I think it's also just the fact that, sometimes expectations can be broken. It's also about learning what unconditional love is, and a lot of the tropes and a lot of the expectations that we place on other people, and how we all have different traumas that we're dealing with. I think it also has to do with the fact that my parents broke up, and of course I never want that to happen to me. But it's like I was at an age where I understood everything that was happening. I wasn't a kid. When my parents broke up, I was in my early 20s, so it kind of hit me hard. So it's been an interesting thing. So my automatic writing thing was about my ROCD. So love the Pokemon card video, by the way. Oh yes, I thought it was really fun too. She's actually going to come onto the channel again. We actually have a couple of other cool ideas for videos that we can do together, so I'm excited about that. I'm giving these cards a very good shuffle because I haven't used them in quite a while. Dang, it's 10:45 already? Golly, how long have I been live for? It doesn't even feel like it's been that long. Man, okay. I still gotta clean too. Anyways, so for the new moon in Gemini, I'm going to be drawing cards for the 12 signs, and then I'm going to draw an overall oracle card as well. Okay. We are actually going to start off with Gemini. We're going to start off with Gemini. And if you happen to be watching a replay of this, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to post the timestamps below. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Let's try that. What even is time, right? Right? Facts. You know what? I'm not going to post the timestamps below. So I want to speak my truth right now, and I don't really care if this part perturbs anyone. I'm not going to post the timestamps below because I know if someone sees timestamps, all they're going to do is literally watch the cards that I draw for their sign, and they're not going to watch any other part of the video. They're not going to take part in the automatic writing sessions or the moment of silence and listen to all the other good stuff that's here. I know my truth, I know my worth, and people who are just coming here and of course I do these little readings here for free and stuff like that. I have no issue with that, but there are people that will just click on videos and will just click on the timestamp and then they'll just look at their sign like, all right, I'm dipping, and they don't listen to all the other good content that that person has to say. So I'm not gonna post the timestamps for this video. Yeah. I'll be blunt, straightforward, and honest. So, yeah, I'm not going to post timestamps. And I know not everyone who's watching this is going to be like that. And I know not everyone who happens to miss it live is, of that predisposition. Like I know that. So it's like, but this is good stuff here. Especially the automatic writings, the moment of silence. This is good stuff here. So it's like, Anyways, Gemini, the card that we have for you. Gemini, the card that we have for you. Oh my goodness, what? Gemini, what's going on? We gonna start off like this, Gemini? You got the card of laziness. What's going on? This is actually the card of the Nine of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have, we have silence, also known as the Star card. Oh my goodness. Gemini. The universe is shaking you from your complacency. You're going to be encountering situations with this new moon where you are going to be kind of forced into a moment of silence. You're going to be forced to kind of shut up and listen to the universe, to shut up and listen to your heart, shut up and listen to spirit. You have been too complacent in a current situation. You're kind of lazy. This is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups does also speak to success and victory. But what happens is that sometimes we can rest on our laurels. Sometimes we can rest on the fact, like, those people, and I think we all have these moments, but like, those people that be like, yeah, I won this award back in 6th grade. Yeah, well, you're 45 now. It's like, yeah, you won a award because you were on your 6th grade baseball team and you guys won the championship, and you still talk about it like it was yesterday. There's something wrong with reminiscing, but sometimes like there can be moments where we rest too much on our laurels, we rest too much on our trophies and what we have accumulated, what we have come into. This is about, hey, you gotta kick the laziness. It's time for you to get up off your ass, stop drinking that that martini, that mimosa, whatever like that margarita. Share it with the brother if you have a margarita. And just like, silence. This is the Star card. This is about faith, trusting the universe, knowing that you are capable of more, knowing that you can move forward, knowing that there is a deeper sense of your purpose coming out now. And this new moon is really going to give you an opportunity to hone in on that. It's really going to give you an opportunity to hone in on that. All right, so Cancer, the card that we have for you, Cancer, is, what do we have for Cancer? Cancer, the card that we have for you, we have the Source, also known as the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we actually have the card of Breakthrough or the card of Justice. Cancer, this is definitely going to be a moment where for you, with these two cards, Ace of Wands and Breakthrough, you are going to be embarking on a new creative endeavor that is going to give you the breakthrough that you have been looking for. You are looking to manifest through your passion and your joy a dream of yours that is going to give you a massive breakthrough. This is the card of Justice too. So there's this sense of like, you've been kind of like weighing things out too. You've been kind of like, that what you put in is that's what you're going to receive. So take time with this new moon, Cancer, especially for it being in your 12th house. Take time to recall or remember your joy, to step in and embody your joy and passion. Be like a kid. If there is something that you are engaging with that makes you feel like a young kid at play, then you will experience incredible breakthrough. Leo, and then, by the way, this applies for your sun, moon, and rising, and I will go ahead and also say Venus. So, Leo, Leo. My cat's name is Leo. He's actually sitting right here. You're probably wondering, why are you just saying my name? The world doesn't revolve around you, Leo. He's like, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Anyways, Leo, the card that we have for you, we have the card of sorrow. This is also known as the Nine of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands, or stress. Leos, you might be stressing yourself out, and this may be causing you to feel some sorrow. This may be causing you to feel some sort of trauma. You may be stressing yourself out on, maybe you have this is kind of opposite of what Gemini needs to get off their leads behind. Leo, some of you may be overworking yourselves, and you're not giving yourself time to relax and play. You see this person, how he's sitting on top of this. He's trying to play the trumpet. He's trying to juggle these wands, and then this monkey's about to pop his balloon and like wreck his whole world. So it's like sometimes, like, you're trying to do too much. You may be overextending yourself. And with this sorrow, it's like, maybe you may be putting your energies in places where they don't need to be, Leo. This can be like, you may have to retract. You may have to kind of like, I'm going to use this word because, my dad, he has like this chalkboard in his office, and he writes a new word for the week every week. And the word that he has for this week is amputate. You may have to amputate some things from your life this week, Leo, for this new moon, because you may be juggling too many different things. There's nothing wrong with, and the funny thing is that he's trying to entertain people, right? So it's like you may be entertaining the wrong people or the wrong crowd. This may be bringing undue stress into your life. This may be bringing a sense of sorrow, maybe a sense of disconnection, even though you're trying to entertain all these people. And Leo, you're a natural entertainer, but you have to make sure that you're entertaining for the right reasons. And you also have to give yourself a break, chill out, sit, like I say, unlike Gemini, kind of sit back on the couch and have a margarita, watch a movie, go bowling, do something fun, but don't necessarily be worried about trying to, I guess, impress everyone. You already do with your energy, Leo. You already are impressive with your bright light. So it's like you don't have to overextend yourself. Okay. Virgo. Let's see what we have for you. What we got in store for the Virgos. 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 Virgo, we have the card of harmony, 10 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we also have the card of sharing, the Queen of Wands. So we have harmony and sharing. Greater harmony will come into your life when you share your gifts, when you share the fruits of your labor with the world, when you share, when you give, when you're open with that joy and passion. When you share your joy and passion with the world, inner harmony, inner peace will be yours. That's all I got to say. Very simple for the Virgos. Sharing your joy, sharing your passion, and harmony will be yours. If you're feeling disharmony, if you're not feeling so harmonious, share your joy, share your gifts with the world. Share your fruits, the fruits of your labor. Share. You can't eat all that fruit anyways. Libra. Libra, Libra, Libra. What we got for Libras? What's going on with the Libras? What's going on with the Libras? What we got going on for you guys? You know what? That card wanted to come out too, so I'm gonna oh, now I see why. We have the card of innocence. The card of innocence. We have Thunderbolt, which is the tower. Bottom of the deck, but also being created at a level. I mean, this for you is happening in your 9th house. So this does have to do with your belief structure. So for you, I do feel like your belief in your success and your belief in what success really is breaking apart and breaking down, but it's also being restructured. But we have the card of innocence here, the sun, reminding us that if we maintain the innocence that a child has and still be at, you see how this is an old man, but he's at wonderment. He's in awe at this mantis that is hanging out on his hand. So it's like, if we can look at the world still from a space of awe, from a space of learning, from a space of look at this beautiful thing and just taking in that energy, then we really will see the success and experience the success that we want. We really will arrive. But there's this thing where it's like you have to really look at what is collapsing. The thunderbolt. This is also epiphany. When I think of a thunderbolt, I'm thinking of epiphany. I'm thinking of like a sudden spark, a sudden idea. So it's like some of you Libras, you may be inspired by something. You may pay attention to children. Libra, pay attention to young children. They may say something that may seem simple or not really intellectually cohesive, but it's going to spark an epiphany within you, Libra. So pay attention to these kids. Pay attention to these kid shows and these kid movies and stuff like that. If you happen to watch over the next week or so, pay attention, because you're going to get an epiphany, and it's going to, if you really take hints of it and you really are open to the message, success will be yours. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Scorpio, my fam, my Scorpio fam. What will we have for you? What is going on for Scorpios? What is going on for Scorpio? Scorpio, Scorpio. Oh, another one with 2 cards. Wow. Wow. Another one with 2 cards. Wow. So Scorpio, we have the Thunderbolt again, right? So the Tower. We have the card of Trust, which I believe in this deck, I want to say it's the Knight of Cups. So we have Trust, and we also have Clinging to the Past. This is very simple. You're going to get an epiphany about the past, or something that you may be clinging onto from your past, and you have to trust to let go. You have to let go and dive in. You got to dive in. You got to let go and let God, Scorpio. You got to let go and let God. Can't cling to the past anymore. You see how this person has this, she has like this box on top of him. She's like, and this is like, it's on her head. So this is talking about the mental space. This person's mental space, this person's mental capacity is inside of this box. They're not able to move. They're not able to manifest because mentally they're cluttered up. Yes, it's falling away. It's being destroyed. Epiphanies are coming through. You don't need to hold on to the past anymore. You don't need to hold on to what was. This is about coming more into the moment. And I had to talk with myself about this earlier, because I was thinking about things that happened in the past, and I had thoughts like, what about now? What's going on right now? What about this moment right now? What about right now? The power of now. The power of now. Scorpio, I want you to repeat after me. The power of now. And everyone, I want you to repeat after me as well, because everyone has Scorpio energy. The power of now. I'm going to write that down, man. I'm gonna write that down. I know it's a book, and I need to actually read the book. The Power of Now. Boom. Sagittarius. Swagatarius. Swagatarius. What card do we have for you? Swagatarius. What card do we have for you, Swag? Atarius. Make sure I didn't drop any cards while I've been shuffling. Sometimes that happens and I don't realize it. Ooh, that's a lot of cards that came out, so I'm not gonna work on that. All right, Swagatarius, what we got for you? What's going on? Ooh, okay. So Sagittarius, for you, we also have the card of silence, the star card, but we also have the Two of Wands, or possibilities. You see the eagles flying over there as the sun's rising over the mountains. We have the Two of Wands, possibilities, and silence, the star card. This is definitely going to be a month for you, especially with this new moon opposing you, where it's like you really want to take a moment to yourself and just kind of chill with your own energy and be open to the possibilities of what's opening up in front of you. For Sagittarius, you're wanting to go on a new adventure. You're wanting to go on a new adventure, especially when it comes to your relationships with yourself, with other people, with your surroundings, with your world. But in order for you to really know which direction to go, what adventure to go on, what plane ticket to buy, you really have to sit in silence with yourself, because there are going to be a lot of people speaking in your ears, talking in your ear about, oh, you should go here, you should look at this thing, you should look at that thing, oh, you should go over here. But it's like, this is like about tapping into your intuition and really trusting and believing in yourself. Also, the cool thing about the possibilities is that, anything is possible. It's like you can go any which one direction. I love how this card has the eagle on it. The eagle is one of my favorite animals. The eagle has such a great high vantage point, and it seems like the possibilities are endless. As far as like when the eagle's like scouting out the land to try and see, where they're going to go, what tree to land on, where their prey is going to be. But this is about like, getting that higher vantage point. So it's like you may hear all of this chatter. You want to kind of dance above that. You want to kind of, come into this higher space. You want to kind of fly high like the eagle, and kind of, it's quiet up there. There's not as much chatter up there in that space. So yeah, just be open to the possibilities and be open to the adventure changing. When you travel and stuff like that, you have to be open to changes. You have to be open to doing different things. Not everything is going to go as according to plan when you make travel plans. So you have to be open to the possibilities of what happens, and you have to trust that things are going to work out. And that things are going to work out in your favor. So regardless of what direction you pick. Capricorn, the card that we have for you. Oh, Capricorn. I already know you're going to be good at this one, Capricorn. Capricorn, we have the card of courage, or the strength card. I love how on this deck it shows a flower growing in a seemingly desolate place. We also have the card of aloneness, or the hermit. This is about having the courage to be alone, having the courage to walk a path that is your own, solitary, that people may not understand. Capricorn, you may piss some people off this month or with this new moon, because they're going to try and put you inside of a box, but they can't do that. And you're going to really take some time. There's a lot of energy of like, even though Gemini is like a chatty time and a time for like, you know, going out, hanging out with people, there's a lot of energy of taking time for the self. So it's not like we can't go out and hang out with people and get into the world and meeting people and all this sort of stuff. But there's this sense of like really know yourself before you put yourself out there. So like Capricorn, this is about, you know, like I said, having the courage to be by yourself, having the courage to be alone and to not be afraid to be alone. You know, it's just gonna sound kind of interesting what I'm about to say. It's easy to grow amongst a giant group of flowers, and I know a giant group of flowers are still beautiful. What I'm saying is like there's a giant patch of flowers, and like you single out one flower in that patch of flowers, and it's like it's kind of easy to grow in that place because obviously that place stimulates a lot of growth, you know, and it's kind of easy to almost be beautiful in that place. But trying to grow in a place where the conditions aren't necessarily right for growing, like in the middle of concrete, whatever like that, you do kind of stick out, but it does take a little bit more strength and courage to grow in those kind of places. Sometimes, you know, and I think this goes for everyone, honestly, but Capricorn, you may be trying to grow in a place that you may feel a little isolated in. So, but you have to have the courage to continue your path anyways. You have to have the courage to continue your path anyways, regardless of what anyone says, even regardless of what your initial thoughts may be. So, very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. Aquarius. Aquarius. Aquarius, the cards that we have for you. Aquarius. Aquarius. Aqua. What do we got for you guys? Aquarius. Wow. We have the card of moment to moment, the Two of Pentacles, and we have the card of the Three of Wands. Experiencing. Aquarius, this is about you experiencing the moment to moment. Do not get too caught up on the end goal. Do not get too caught up on the destination. This is about experiencing moment to moment. You see how this individual is skipping stones across this river? Or he's like jumping across stones. Not skipping stones. I was going to say he's jumping across these stones on the river. If you're too focused on the end goal or on a destination, instead of just kind of focusing on moment to moment and experiencing joy in every moment to moment, I'm not saying not to have goals, but if you're too focused on the end goal, if you're too focused on the looking a certain way and you're trying to skip stones as you're crossing this river, you're going to fall and bust your head, Aquarius. So this is about experiencing the joy moment to moment, moment to moment, the power of now, the power of now. Similar to Scorpio, just kind of takes a different turn. The power of now, the power of now, Aquarius. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Cards that we have for you. I don't know why I don't use this deck more often. I love the art and stuff. I think what happened is that I was using this deck last year for something that I was doing on my Facebook actually, and the card was called Schizophrenia, but it represented the Two of Swords, and I kind of understand why they used the metaphor of that. But this lady got really triggered by the card, and I haven't used the deck as much since then, honestly. I get why she felt that way. I also understand why they used schizophrenia as the metaphor for the Two of Swords. It literally just shows someone who's like hanging between two different ledges and is like kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, or I guess a cliff and a hard place. But yeah, this lady got really freaking triggered by that. I guess I've been clinging to the past, right? And I need to let go and move forward. But I don't know why I don't use this deck more often. It's a really nice deck. Anyways, Pisces. Oh, Pisces. We have the card of healing, otherwise known as the King of Cups. And we also have the card of experience. Pisces. So whereas Aquarius is kind of just being told to kind of just be and experience the moment to moment, you are in many ways healing the moment to moment. You are going through this massive healing of your experience. And this is interesting. You know what's interesting about this healing card is that you see the hands, right? The hands are over the face and the eyes, and then the hands are kind of over the torso, revealing that flower that's over the heart. So it's like, you know, in many ways, I feel like the hands like that are covering the face and the eyes, even the nose. It's like, you know, sometimes we can be kind of blind to our experience of what's really going on. And then the hand that's covering the other part, you know, I feel like these are areas that, you know, obviously need to be healed. But this is speaking about how if you open up your heart, you're going to be able to activate these chakras down here. And then you'll be able to activate these chakras up here, the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown chakra. But it's interesting how the heart chakra is the one that's exposed. So it's like, you know, you want to really open up your heart, and you want to really, just like I said, like I told Aquarius, you know, experience the joy of your day-to-day life. But you know, this is going to be a powerful new moon for you to really go through some major deep healing, especially considering the fact that this is happening in your fourth house. The fourth house naturally ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is a very healing energy. So definitely incredible for you, Pisces, because you are, this is also, I'm hearing compassion. Have more self-compassion. Have more self-compassion. It's okay if you made mistakes. It's okay if you have tripped and fallen a few times. Have more self-compassion. Have more self-compassion. Have more self-compassion. 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 That's just ringing in my ear over and over and over again. Self-compassion. Self-compassion. I'm a Pisces moon, so I have this. This applies to me too. Self-compassion. Have more self-compassion. Self-forgiveness. Okay. You are healing, Pisces. You are healing. Aries. Aries. Oh my gosh. Why aren't you doing what I want you to do? Oh boy. There we go. Sitting here like, why won't you shuffle the way I want you to shuffle? Why am I even speaking like this now? I don't even know why I'm doing this. Why am I speaking like this? Anyways, Aries. Aries, the card that we have for you. Ooh. Aries, we have the card of friendliness, the Two of Cups, so emotional connection. We also have the card of maturity. I want to say this is the Ace of Pentacles. But we have the card of maturity, and we have the card of friendliness. Oh, Aries, you're kind of being told to grow up a little bit. You're being also told you're going to be making connections and friends. You're going to start, you know, networking with more mature situations and more mature people. This doesn't necessarily mean, I think sometimes mature gets this connotation of being kind of dry and kind of boring. This is not the case. You're actually going to be making connections with people who are mature in their practice. They've been working at it. This could be, some of you may come into, you know, maybe some sort of an apprenticeship under someone who may be more experienced in your field than you are. But really with the card of friendliness, this is really about you establishing a connection with someone kind of on life footing with you, but you're going to notice that you mature in your understanding together. So like if you guys study a similar craft, you guys can help each other to mature in your craft. You can kind of help each other hone your craft. A very beautiful thing. For those of you who may be in relationships, this is definitely going to be, your relationship is going to take a It's going to take a change of maturity. What I'm trying to say, your relationship is going to mature a bit. Some of y'all may get pregnant, Aries. Some of y'all may get pregnant, or maybe you take that next step and you get a house together, you get a dog together, you know. When you finally start washing the dishes when you when you eat, you know. So it's that sort of thing. For those of you who aren't coupled, you may attract someone who's older than you. You may attract someone maybe you've been dating people that was your age or a little bit younger. You may attract someone who may be 5 or 10 years older than you. Are you going to be open to it? Are you going to close yourself off from that, Aries? That's going to be up to you. I wouldn't necessarily close myself off to it. You know, I wouldn't. But anyways, I'm not in that particular situation. Some of y'all may be attracting some, you know, was it cougars? And then what's the male version of it, I guess? I can't remember what it is. Anyways, that's Aries. And Taurus. Bringing up the rear, the anchor. What's good, Taurus? How are y'all doing? Thank you for being patient. I know you probably just popped you some popcorn and stuff like that while you waited through these, you know. Probably was like, well, you know, he's doing the other signs, so I could probably go get a snack real fast. Oh, hell no, I didn't just say that. Anyways, Taurus, the card that we have for you. I love y'all. I love all y'all. Taurus, the card that we have for you, it's kind of coming back full circle. That's actually interesting. We have ordinariness, the 8 of Pentacles, and we also have laziness, the 9 of Cups. This is kind of interesting with these two cards. The 8 of Pentacles, I usually see this as like you're in usually like in the lab card, like you're honing and working in your craft and stuff. But this is ordinariness, is about tapping into the simple pleasures of every you know, day-to-day life. But it's coupled here with laziness. I'm almost getting the sense, Taurus, that you kind of need to just go outside and just kind of, you know, talk to the trees, talk to the rocks, talk to the squirrels, the butterfly, the insects. You know, maybe you've just been chilling inside on your couch or like that, and kind of like maybe that's part of your ordinary routine, but I'm almost getting a sense that you need to switch up your ordinary. You need to switch up your normalcy. That's what I'm kind of feeling. It's like, you know, if you have a particular way of doing things every day or a routine, switch up your routine, switch it up, and do something extraordinary, but then make that extraordinary thing ordinary. And when you integrate that into your day-to-day life, it'll help to lift your vibration, you know, depending upon what it is. You know, if you want to carve out time to meditate, you want to carve out time to go outside and go for a walk, you want to carve out time to, I don't know, exercise more, do something fun, you know. Make that part of your everyday life. Make it ordinary. Make the extraordinary ordinary. And then it's going to make your life, your everyday life, extraordinary, but it will be your ordinary. You know, it's kind of like how we'll look at some people's lives who are like celebrities, whatever like that, and we're like, oh my gosh, they live this extraordinary life. To them, that's ordinary. So it's like, and to them, like their laziness can seem very extraordinary to us, like their form of laziness. So it's like, you know, this is about you kind of like you taking that extraordinary, you know, and making it ordinary, making it kind of normalized in your life, and making it kind of routine. That way you begin to produce extraordinary results. And the oracle card that I'm going to draw for everyone, I'm going to draw from my Sacred Geometry Oracle deck. But I really do appreciate you all joining so much. I really do. I love you all so very much. Thank you so much for holding space for this. And just know that you have You have all the capability in the world to manifest your dreams, and you really do have what it takes to move forward in a powerful way. Gratitude, self-compassion, forgiveness, appreciation, joy, radiating that love, consistency, establishing that consistent dialogue with yourself that, I wrote it down, I followed through. I have the strength, courage, and bravery to move through this day with ease, grace, and flow. With every breath I take, I am healed. Stuff like that. So, but in any event, let's get this last card, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Okay. We have. I'm gonna draw the top card too. Ooh, bottom of the deck was perception. Top of the deck was consciousness. Oh, guys. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. But then, how do we perceive that reality? Perception. Gemini is about perception. It's along the axis of perception. That's mutable energy. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. We are all stepping into our multi-dimensional self. We all are stepping into the unlimitlessness. I just made that word up, the unlimitlessness of who we are, because we all are infinite beings of love. We are infinite beings that have the power to create their reality. We really do. But it does require some trust and some faith and some strength and some courage to push through any boundaries, any self-limiting perceptions that we may place on ourselves or that we may place on others or society may place on us. But we are a part of society. This is about breaking through those barriers and realizing that we are so fucking powerful. Let me catch up on these comments and stuff like that. You're very welcome. I hope that you all enjoyed this. I really do. I'm going to get out of here. I have an early morning because I gotta drive back over to my dad's place tomorrow. So, well, the ballroom. So I gotta drive back over there tomorrow and work, and it's an hour away. And I want to actually make it back at a decent time. But anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me, for listening to me rant about this stuff, holding space. I love you all so much. My beautiful brothers and sisters, we're radiating love every single day, every single moment that we can. And just, take, if anything, I hope that you take from this some sort of practice that you can use in your everyday life, whether it's the automatic writing or having moments of silence, remembering to breathe, knowing that, with every breath I take, I am healed, stuff like that. Send notes to yourself. Send beautiful notes to yourself. Set an alarm on your phone that has and like title the alarm something awesome like, "Hey, you look good today," or like, "Hey, I'm proud of you." That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna set an alarm on my phone for that. Like, "Hey, I'm proud of you." So it's like, do stuff like that. Send yourself good notes. Send yourself messages. Send yourself letters. You know what I mean? Shoot, write an email to yourself and then like date it out. Like, I don't know if you can, but like have it send at a particular time or whatever like that. And I don't know. Do stuff like that for yourself. It really does help. It really is like, I care about myself. You know what I mean? It's like it kind of felt a little mushy just now like that, like my energy, whatever like that. But it's like I care about myself. I love myself. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you love yourself. You should love yourself. You're fucking amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. But anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy your new moon in Gemini. Hope that you enjoy this week. I will be seeing you all very soon for another video. And until next time, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.